Hi everyone, in this video we are going over our functional groups. So our functional groups, which I abbreviate FG, they're these repeating arrangements of atoms that exhibit unique chemical and physical properties. I'm going to group the functional groups, so collect them, based on the number of bonds to heteroatoms. Remember, heteroatoms are the non-carbon hydrogens, but there is overlap between them. So it's not a perfect separation, it's just to try to gather them to make them make a little bit more sense. There are a lot of different functional groups to know. The ones that'll be on exams are the ones that are highlighted. Those are the ones I expect you to memorize immediately and know them now. All of the other ones, it can only help you. I typically use them as extra credit on exams. It's definitely going to help you, but when you get to Orgo 2, if you know them. So that's why I give you all of them, but the highlighted ones are the ones that are most important for our class right now. So my notes already filled in. You want to fill yours in as we go, or look at the annotated notes and copy it down that way. The last 4 columns are associated with nomenclature. So you're going to want to look at the nomenclature video to have those make sense. We're going to focus in on the first 4 columns. So looking initially at our hydrocarbons, remembering that hydrocarbons are just made up of carbon and hydrogen, we look first at our alkane. The alkane is the bare minimum in order to be an organic molecule. So it is not a functional group. Alkanes are not functional group. Alkanes are based on just the carbon, hydrogen is the generic form. They are all single bonds. They're typically abbreviated as alkyl groups because in the nomenclature notes, we're going to indicate that YL means that it is a substituent. So R groups are going to be used for our hydrocarbons, saying that R is specifically an alkyl. If there are any exceptions, they must be explicitly defined. So if I'm saying R could be carbon or hydrogen, I would have to write that R equals H or C. It would have to be defined. When we identify our different R groups, we can separate them by numbers. So you can have R1, R2, R3, or by using prime. So R single prime, R double prime, or R triple prime. Our alkanes are categorized or classified as primary, secondary, and tertiary. So within the alkanes, we can get methyl, methylene, methine, and quaternary carbons. Our primary, which is written as 1 degree, but it's read primary, is the methyl carbon. That is just a CH3 that is hanging off of our carbon backbone. That makes it methyl. So it's primary when it's carbon attached to just one other carbon. If my carbon is attached to 2 other carbons, it is secondary. That makes it a methylene if it's that CH2 attached to 2 other carbons. Methine is a CH that is attached to 3 other carbons. That makes it tertiary. And a quaternary carbon is a carbon attached to 4 other carbons. So then it's quaternary. None of these are functional groups. These are motifs. They are descriptions of our structures, but they aren't going to change our chemical reactivity significantly like our actual functional groups will. So that's important to note. These are not functional groups. They're just like a classification. Our first actual functional group is going to be our alkene. This is our carbon-carbon double bond. We have classifications within our double bond where if you are directly attached to the double bond, then it is a vinyl group or vinylic. If you are one away from the double bond, then you are an allyl group or allylic. Our alkynes are carbon-carbon triple bonds. And if you are one away from the triple bond, then you are a propargyl group or propargylic. If you have this benzene, that is an example of an aromatic group. Aromatics can be abbreviated as arene or aryl. We're only going to really look at just benzene. In Orgo 2, you're going to look at a lot more aromatic groups. But for us, we're just going to focus on benzene, which is where you have the 6 carbons where it goes double, single, double, single, double, single, all alternating in that six-membered ring. That is benzene. That is an example of an aromatic molecule. Our halogen-based functional groups, these are where you have a haloalkane. They're sometimes called alkyl halides. I just want you to know the term haloalkane, but be aware of the alkyl halide name. They're the same thing. It's just where you have a halogen attached to a carbon chain. So X is F, Cl, Br, or I, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, or iodine. They also get classified as primary, secondary, or tertiary, and it is based on the number of carbons attached to the alpha carbon. So my alpha carbon is the carbon directly attached to the halogen. So I go halogen, carbon that it's attached to, and I count how many carbons come off of my alpha carbon. If there's one R group, it is primary. If there are two, you are secondary. If there are three, you are tertiary. If you have single bonds to oxygen, then you are going to be one of these functional groups. Our alcohols are where you have the carbon with what is known as a hydroxyl group. It's important to note that hydroxyl is not a functional group. That is that motif. It is a description of, I just have an OH group. There are multiple functional groups that contain a hydroxyl group. So hydroxyl is not the functional group. Alcohol is the functional group that contains only the hydroxyl. So that is the difference. Alcohol is the functional group. Hydroxyl is just the motif. Alcohol, functional group. That is where you have the carbon with an OH. It is classified in the same way as our halogens, where you go to the alpha carbon and count how many carbons come off of it. If there's one carbon coming off of it, it is primary. Two carbons, it is secondary. Three carbons, it is tertiary. A special type of alcohol is going to be the phenol, Phenol, phenol. It is phenol, benzene, with an alcohol attached to it. It is this structure. This is a specific combination of functional groups that it becomes its own functional group. It has its own unique reactivity. So phenol is its own functional group, where it is specifically made up of benzene with an alcohol attached to it. Our ether is where you have a carbon on either side of our oxygen. So you have carbon, single bond oxygen, single bond carbon. That makes you an ether. Our epoxide is a special type of cyclic ether. So cyclic ether is the description. Epoxide is the functional group. It is specifically a three-membered ring that is the cyclic ether. So you have the three-membered ring containing an oxygen. That is your epoxide. This is epoxide. The functional group is the name. The old school name for epoxide is oxirane. If you've ever seen that, that's less commonly utilized nowadays. Our last functional group containing single bonds to oxygen is our peroxy group. So that is like our peroxides. So that is where you have carbon, single bond oxygen, single bond oxygen, single bond carbon. R here can be hydrogen or carbon. So for example, if you have hydrogen peroxide, where you have HOOH, that is still a peroxy group and it's hydrogen peroxide. This is kind of a special case because it's not organic. So it's technically not a functional group here. It's just a molecule that is hydrogen peroxide. But my point is, if you have the oxygen-oxygen bond, that makes you a peroxy functional group. Our carbon-oxygen double bond containing functional groups that we need to know are going to have the motif of the carbonyl. Carbonyl is just describing the carbon-oxygen double bond. It is not a functional group. We have all these functional groups that contain a carbonyl. Carbonyl is not the functional group. Carbonyl is the motif. If you have a carbonyl that has carbon and a hydrogen on one side, technically this could be another hydrogen, so at least one hydrogen. That is your aldehyde. Aldehyde has hydrogen on the side of your carbonyl. If you have two carbons, that makes you a ketone. A special type of ketone is our acyl group or acetyl group. It gets abbreviated AC. It is where you specifically have a methyl, a CH3, attached to one side of the carbonyl, and then it can be literally anything on the other side of the carbonyl. Our carboxylic acid is where you have a carbonyl with a hydroxyl group combined, and you can either have hydrogen or carbon on the other side. That makes it a carboxylic acid. It's where you have carbon, double bond oxygen, single bond OH. That is a carboxylic acid. The conjugate base of that is the carboxylate anion. So that's where you have O minus. You just put 8 on the end, carboxylate. If you replace the hydrogen of the carboxylic acid with a carbon, that gets you your ester. So that's where you have carbon, double bond oxygen, single bond carbon. That is your ester. A specific type of cyclic esters would be your lactone. So that's where you get a cyclic any size ring. It could be 6, 5, 4, 3, whatever. It is now a cyclic ester. That is the description. Lactone is the functional group. And hydride is where you specifically have carbonyl, oxygen, carbonyl. And you again can have either carbon or hydrogen on either side. An amide is where you have a carbonyl and then NH2, which we will eventually call an amine. It is one functional group when it's next to the carbonyl. It's not an amine, it is an amide. The whole thing is one functional group as soon as it's next to the carbonyl. A cyclic amide example is a lactam. And again, you can have carbon or hydrogen coming off. Also here, it could be either carbon or hydrogen, and it doesn't need to match that R group. These can all vary, and it's still an amide. It's just the fact you have carbonyl, single bond nitrogen. That makes it your amide. The last type of carbonyl-containing functional group is our acid halide or acyl halide, depending on if this is a CH3. If it's a CH3, then it's an acyl halide, because remember that is our, too far, acyl group, acetyl group. So if that's a CH3, then it becomes an acyl halide. It's just where you have a halogen next to your carbonyl. That's carbonyl, single bond, halogen. That is your acid halide. Our nitrogen-containing functional groups, the main one is our amine. So when we look at our amines, we have nitrogen connected to all of the single bonds to carbon. This is specifically going to be an sp3 hybridized amine, so it can't be next to a carbonyl. We can classify this as primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary. The primary is looking at how many carbons are attached to the nitrogen. This is not like the alcohols. This is not like our halogens. This is like carbon. So carbon and nitrogen get classified together. Oxygen and alcohols and halogens get classified together. So looking at our primary amine, that is where nitrogen is connected to 1 carbon. Secondary amine is nitrogen connected to 2 carbons. Tertiary amine is nitrogen connected to 3 carbons. Quaternary amine or quaternary ammonium salt is where you are connected to 4 carbons. You now get a positive charge. If you have a carbon with a triple bond to a nitrogen, that is a nitrile or a cyano group. Here, hydrogen or the R group can either be hydrogen or carbon. Nitro is where you have this nitrogen double bond oxygen, single bond oxygen. The nitrogen has to have a positive charge. Nitrogen cannot have more than 4 bonds. So in order to make this functional group exist, nitrogen has to have 4 bonds, has to have a positive charge, and this oxygen has to have a negative charge. It is overall neutral, but the functional group exists where the nitrogen has a positive charge, oxygen has a negative charge. It usually gets abbreviated just NO2. In order for it to be the organic molecule, the R group has to be some sort of carbon chain, some sort of alkyl chain that makes it a nitro group. The nitrogen variant of our aldehydes and ketones are the imines. So that's where nitrogen has replaced the oxygen. And so you get a carbon-nitrogen double bond. Azides are going to be where you have 3 nitrogens all connected to each other with double bonds on each one. They get abbreviated N3. Azo is where you have nitrogen-nitrogen double bond and R groups coming off either end. Those are azo groups. Our sulfur-containing functional groups have thio generally replacing the in the name, and that's just saying sulfur replaces oxygen. So if I look at a thiol, that is saying that my sulfur has replaced the oxygen in an alcohol. So you just have RSH. It's the same general classifications as the alcohol. It's just sulfur has replaced the oxygen. So it's a thiol. Our thioether or sulfide is where you have sulfur and carbon on either side. So sulfur is replacing the oxygen in the ether, and you get your thioether. Disulfide is where the two sulfurs are connected to each other. This is really important in biochemistry where you get disulfide bonds in your proteins. Sulfoxide is going to be where you have a ketone or aldehyde, but now sulfur replaces the carbon. So you maintain the sulfur oxygen double bond. Sulfone is where you're now getting a hypervalent sulfur. So sulfur has more than 4 bonds. So you have 2 double bonds to oxygen. Sulfinic acid is where you have sulfur replacing the carbon of a carboxylic acid is sulfinic acid. So it's sulfur, double bond oxygen, single bond OH. Sulfonic acid, you need to know. This is where you have the hypervalent sulfur. So sulfur with 6 bonds, and it's double bond oxygen, single bond OH. Sulfonate ester is where that OH gets replaced with an OR. A thiol is where you have sulfur replacing the aldehyde, the oxygen of the aldehyde. Thioketone is where you have sulfur replacing the oxygen of the ketone. So these are all of the functional groups that you need to know, and all the different motif names you need to know, and you need to be able to recognize them. All of this information in these other columns are extra, and they get explained in the nomenclature video. I've just filled this in for context, and you can fill in the additional boxes as you get to organic chemistry 2 when it becomes relevant, when you're introduced to that nomenclature. All right, so what are you expected to be able to do? Oops, gotta pause this. Sorry, had the answers revealed. All right, so you should also now pause your video and practice trying to identify all of the functional groups. So you want to circle them and then be able to explain to yourself why that is a functional group. And so convince yourself. Be cautious of the fact that some of these are written in condensed form and some of them are actually expanded out in line diagram. So be aware of that. So go ahead and pause it, and then we'll go through this. All right. So looking at our different functional groups, I like to use heteroatoms as my anchor to identify my different functional groups. So I look for example, like a carbon-oxygen double bond first. So that's what I get attracted to first, is I see this carbon-oxygen double bond. I look to see what's on either side. I have carbon on either side, so this is a ketone, because I have carbon on either side of my carbonyl. Then I look to see that I have this carbon-oxygen double bond, and I look to see what's on either side. I have carbon and oxygen that is single bond carbon. So that means that this is my ester. Then I see that this, if it were expanded, would be a CO2OH, so that is a carboxylic acid. Because I have the carbon, double bond oxygen, single bond OH. That makes it a carboxylic acid. So those are all of my carbonyl-containing functional groups. So then I'm just going to look for other heteroatoms. Here I see a nitrogen with all single bonds. It's sp3 hybridized. That is my amine. If I want to classify it, it would be classified as a primary amine because the nitrogen is connected to one other carbon. Next, I see this sulfur that is connected to an connected to a carbon and a hydrogen. That makes this a thiol. It's like an alcohol, but sulfur replaced my oxygen. Here I see the OH. This is an alcohol because I have the oxygen connected to a carbon and a hydrogen. That makes it an alcohol. Here I have the oxygen with carbon on ether side. So it's an ether functional group. And then here I see this ether, but it's a specific type of ether. It is specifically that three-membered ring, that cyclic ether in a three-membered ring, that is an epoxide. And then I see this carbon-carbon triple bond, that is an alkyne. And here is my carbon-carbon double bond, that is an alkene. I also have that methylene and a methine and another methyne. Those are not functional groups. Alkanes are not functional groups. Those are motifs to describe it. They're not functional groups. Alkanes are not functional groups. Hint, that's a question on the quiz. They're not functional groups. Sorry, that was aggressive with the pointing. They're not functional groups. So for this type of a question, if you're expected on a quiz question, it would be something like, how many functional groups are there? All right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 functional groups on this molecule. There are 10 functional groups. If you were to identify them, you would, in say a multiple answer type setting where I have a whole bunch of functional groups listed out and you're to pick them, you would pick amine, ester, epoxide, alkyne, ketone, ether, alcohol, alkene, thiol, and carboxylic acid. You wouldn't pick amide. You wouldn't pick thioether. You wouldn't pick any of these other ones because they aren't there. So like your amide would be if you had the nitrogen right next to the carbonyl. That would be an amide. I don't have that. My nitrogen is not right next to a carbonyl. I do not have an amide. I would not select that. Right? So that's how you would practice identifying your functional groups. There's more practice in the homework. There's more practice in the Achieve Dynamic Study modules, as well as at the end of the book, as well as in the additional practice problem sections. All right. That's everything for our functional groups.